This is a full story. Kitten wishes you all a happy and enjoyable story. 9 years of dating Hailey, and she let others strip her clothes off. This time, I didn't argue. I quietly threw away the newly bought engagement ring and left the apartment keys on the table before walking away. She didn't care, and while kissing her new boy toy, she called me to insult me. Let's see how many days it takes for you to back down. I hung up and blocked her number. A few months later, Hailey showed up at my door looking disheveled, but another girl answered. She was finally flustered. "Rocky, come back. Stop this nonsense." After 9 years of dating Hailey, I had been with her from being a small-time actress to becoming a leading lady. Today, I finally mustered up the courage to propose. Hailey came back near midnight. I had been waiting for her. "Are you hungry? Should I heat up some food?" I took her bag from her hands. Hailey pushed me away with a sullen face and lay down on the sofa. "What's wrong? Are you in a bad mood?" I asked. "With all these award ceremonies, I'm running around nonstop. Don't talk to me. It's so annoying. Let me catch my breath." It seemed that I wouldn't be able to give her the engagement ring anytime soon. I smiled wryly and went to prepare a bath for Hailey. When the bath was ready, I went to call her, but overheard her conversation with her manager. "Please, how can I marry him? Stop bothering me." Hailey lay on the sofa, pinching her nose disdainfully. "I'm a leading lady, young, rich, and in a high position. What's he? Just a plaything, free service? Why not take it?" The manager said something, and Hailey turned and laughed. "So what? Who says a girlfriend must be faithful? Believe it or not, even if I bring a guy in front of him, he wouldn't dare say a word. Don't worry, he's tight-lipped. The media won't find out. Anyway, I'm getting bored of him. I'll just kick him out when I'm done. Got it, got it? I'll reply to you in a few days. Bye." Hailey hung up and turned to me. "Is the water ready?" "Yes." She nodded, took off her coat, and walked to the bathroom. As she closed the door, she grabbed my sleeve and looked at me mockingly. "How much of the call with Mary did you hear?" I clenched my fist, my nails digging into my flesh. I wasn't paying attention. She patted my face with satisfaction. "Good. I like you this way. Keep it up." I no longer remember how long this relationship has lasted. I still vividly recall Hailey's youthful face, hugging my neck, celebrating her first leading role script. She said, "Rocky, I want to be with you forever. Let you witness every lead role I take. We will have the most beautiful future, and my future's end is you. Promise me, when I reach that supreme honor, you'll come and marry me, okay?" Hailey's voice still echoes in my ears, but when I open my eyes again, everything shatters into reality. After Hailey took a bath, she left. When I asked her what was going on, she said the film crew was busy and told me not to ask too many questions. I knew it was just an excuse. I had long gotten used to it. The next day, Friday, was our 9th anniversary. I left work early, prepared a feast, and waited for her to come home. 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. The hands of the clock turned again and again, and the phone rang one call after another. No answer. Maybe the film crew was too busy. I kept waiting. After waiting endlessly, I finally received a call from her. "Come to the hotel. I'll send you the address." A hasty sentence, then she hung up. I had no choice but to follow the location. I knocked on the door, but no one answered. "Hailey, it's me," I said. A few seconds later, the door opened. A man answered, naked, with a towel wrapped around his lower half. "Wow, you really came," the man said with a lazy smile. Then Hailey stepped forward, kissed my face affectionately, and said, "Do me a favor, will you?" I clenched my teeth and didn't answer her. She continued, "Be a good boy and go buy some condoms." The man laughed. "You really made him buy them? Aren't you afraid he'll be mad?" "Not at all. He's very obedient," Hailey said firmly. "I don't understand. What does she think I am? A creature to be manipulated and humiliated? We used to be so sweet. How did it end up like this?" I asked, "Hailey, do you know what today is? What day could be more important than me?" Hailey looked at me indifferently. "What? Don't you want to come when I call you? Call me to buy condoms? To use with another man?" I asked bitterly. She used to play with me however she wanted, but today, she went too far. Seeing me lose my temper, Hailey was first stunned, then frowned. "Rocky, that's enough." "Hailey, what do you take me for? Do you still remember our previous promise? Do you remember how you promised me? You must have forgotten." I smiled wryly. "Miss Hailey, it seems like your little lover is upset," the naked man teased from the side. Hailey, afraid of being caught by paparazzi, pulled me into the room and locked the door. "Rocky, I'll ask you once, are you coming or not?" I ignored her for the first time. She felt embarrassed, and her attitude towards me became much worse. "No, your little lover isn't coming. What should we do?" The man leisurely lit a cigarette. "Miss Hailey, I'm feeling quite hot and want to resolve it quickly." Hailey was determined to confront me. She glared at me fiercely, then swiftly straddled the man, snuffed out the cigarette, and began to untie the towel. "If he's not coming, then we don't need him. The man was stunned for 2 seconds, then, with interest, looked at me before flipping Hailey over. Let the little lover watch me, do you? Is that really okay? If he has such a kink, let him be, Hailey said with a smile. The man grinned and spread Hailey's legs. Then I'll start. I could no longer hold it in. I pushed the door open and fled in despair. As I left, I could still hear Hailey and the man's lewd comments. Miss Hailey, your little lover ran away. Aren't you going to comfort him? What's there to comfort? Within 3 days, he'll come crawling back to beg me to reconcile. Back home, my stomach churned, and I ran to the bathroom to vomit for a long time. When all that was left was bile, I forced myself to stand up and rinse my mouth. I stood in front of the sink, constantly washing my face. The cold water dripping from my hair made me realize more clearly that it was time to leave. I took out the new engagement ring I had bought and threw it, along with the feast I had prepared, into the trash can. Before leaving, I placed the keys to the apartment on the table. Over the years, I had accompanied her through obscurity, given her encouragement when she was most hopeless, used connections to get her lead roles, and bought this house to make her filming more convenient. Now the house belonged to her. I owed her nothing. At 1 a.m, I boarded a flight to Guangzhou. I wasn't originally from here. I had come to Beijing to be with Hailey. Now that we were breaking up, I could finally go home. When I returned home and had a good sleep, I was just waking up when my sister took my arm and introduced me. Bro, you probably haven't seen Serena in a long time, have you? She's a big star now. I stared blankly at the unfamiliar woman in front of me. She looked a bit familiar, as if I had seen her somewhere. That's right, in a magazine. Rising star Serena, the popularity queen, won a grand slam of awards this year, even surpassing Hailey. Rocky, long time no see. Serena adjusted a strand of hair by her ear. How have you been these years? She called me affectionately, but I didn't recognize her. Pretty good, I replied casually. Bro, your reaction is so cold. My sister pouted. This is Serena. You used to play with her a lot when you were young. Don't you remember? My sister's words jogged my memory a bit. Serena waved her hand. It's been a long time. Not remembering is normal. Rocky, there's a party in a few days. Want to join? No, thanks. It's all unfamiliar faces, and I've been to too many of these gatherings for Hailey. I really don't want to go. Serena looked a bit disappointed. She was about to say something else when my phone rang. I checked the screen. It was Hailey. I had been so rushed when I left that I forgot to handle Hailey's contact information. After a moment's thought, I decided to answer. It was better to clear things up and cut ties completely. Hello, what's up? Where the hell have you been? Since I met Hailey, she was always a graceful and polite girl. Hearing such vulgarity from her felt out of place. I'm back in Guangzhou. I left the keys on the table. Rocky, what's your deal? I was just joking with you. Why are you taking it so seriously? A joke? She trampled on my dignity, used condoms to insult me, and made me, her legitimate boyfriend, watch her sleep with another man. To her, it was just a lighthearted joke? Rocky, in the end, the biggest joke is on you. I smiled wryly. Hailey, I can't handle this kind of joke. I'm not you. We are over. I suddenly heard a man's breathing and water sounds on the other end. Is there someone next to you? I couldn't help but ask. But as soon as I asked, I regretted it. Wasn't this just asking for humiliation? Why subject myself to this? Hearing my question, Hailey's anger shifted to a nonchalant attitude. What, are you concerned? She laughed. No, do whatever you want. Rocky, what's with the attitude? I don't have any attitude. You and I are no longer related. What you do is your freedom. I was just being rash earlier. Is that enough? Are you satisfied? I replied through gritted teeth. With such a hard mouth, let's see how many days it takes for you to back down. Then just wait. I'm repeating myself. We're done. Have the guts to say that to my face again. Rocky, are you really trying to make things difficult for me? Have you said everything? I'm hanging up. Don't you dare hang up. You. Beep, beep, beep. I put my phone away and gave Serena an apologetic smile. Sorry, you must have seen something unpleasant. At that moment, in the house Rocky left behind, Hailey was drunkenly clutching an empty wine bottle while slumped on the sofa. The surroundings were a mess. The cabinet had been smashed with the bottle, leaving wood shavings and glass scattered everywhere. Nearby were torn and shredded photos of Rocky and Hailey. Mary arrived, turned on the lights, and said, "Get out, all of you." Hailey blocked the blinding light and threw the bottle towards the door. Fortunately, Mary dodged and wasn't hit. Mary sighed, walked over, and draped a jacket over Hailey. "Why are you doing this? Didn't you say it was just for fun? Do you think I'm doing this for him?" Hailey said, incredulously pointing at herself. "Mary, are you kidding me? Am I out of my mind drinking just for him? I'm just happy. I just want to drink. Is that not allowed?" "Tough talk. Truly hopeless," Mary said, hands on her hips. "So, what are you planning to do now? Get him back." "Get back? I'd rather find a prostitute than him. Why should I get him back? Who does he think he is?" Hailey said, then slumped onto the sofa. He played the runaway game and gave him face. "Don't bother finding him. Let him go. He just dares to throw a tantrum. Stand staying at home for a few days, and then he'll come crawling back to beg me to sleep with him. Mary covered her face and sighed, fine. Miss, it's up to you. Just afraid you might regret it later. Only a dog regrets. Hailey said this as she pushed Mary out and opened another bottle of wine. By late night, she drank until she was throwing up in the bathroom, came back, and drank more, repeating this several times. Finally, she retrieved some tape from a drawer and painstakingly reassembled the torn photos. She caressed the people in the photos, then pretended not to care and tossed the photos aside. Muttering to herself, she said, "Who wants to find him? I'm not looking for him." I spent a few days peacefully at home. Since the last call with Hailey, I deleted and blocked all her contact information. I was planning to go out for a bit of fresh air when I happened to meet Serena at my house. "Didn't you have a party today?" "Not going." I asked her. "Yeah, it wouldn't have been meaningful." "You didn't go either." Such parties are essentially about networking. She's in a rising phase of her career, and she refused the party for such a ridiculous reason. "I didn't go because I had no stakes with them, but you're different. If you ever need their help, you should build relationships. Don't be self-righteous," I reminded her. Serena was silent for a moment and said, "Got it." "Geez, bro, Serena's a big shot. She canceled work just to come see you." "Why are you so stern with her?" My sister hit my chest. "Really a blockhead so dumb?" "Alice, your brother's right. I was being stubborn," Serena said, patting my sister's head. After lunch, my mom asked me to take Serena for a walk. I couldn't refuse, so I agreed. But I really had nothing to talk about with Serena. Unsure of how to start a conversation, I suggested going to the nearby convenience store to buy some daily necessities. Serena blinked and smiled, covering her mouth. Sure. Walking side by side with Serena, she asked me many things about Beijing, but I didn't want to discuss it. I responded vaguely. Noticing my reluctance about Beijing, Serena changed the subject. "I remember when we were kids, we made a wish to celebrate each birthday together. We've both had our birthdays this year. Should we make up for it?" It's touching that she remembers my birthday. Even Hailey, who shared a bed with me, had long forgotten it. Speaking of which, today is Hailey's birthday. In the past years, I would always be with her. No matter how busy I was, never missing it. But not this year. When I didn't respond, Serena asked again, "How about we get a cake to take home?" "All right, I also got you a gift. I meant to give it to you yesterday. I wasn't sure what kind of gift guys like, so I just bought a decent one. And I booked a French restaurant. How about we go together tonight?" "As you like. I'm okay with anything." Maybe I sounded too blunt. Serena looked somewhat dejected. "Did I say something wrong?" "I'm sorry," Serena said, biting her lip with a wry smile. Am I really that annoying? Seeing Serena like this reminded me of how I had been so submissive to Hailey. It was quite unsettling. "Serena, don't be like this with me," I said. Serena lowered her head silently. "I'm sorry. I don't need your apology. You shouldn't waste your time on me. Do you understand what I mean?" Serena was silent for a long while, then spoke slowly. "I wish I knew, but the more I try to suppress my feelings, the more my heart races. Rocky, tell me, what am I supposed to do?" Serena's intense gaze seemed to burn and consume me. For the first time, I felt what it was like to be valued. I sighed, my resolve softening. Relenting, I reached out and patted her head. "I was harsh earlier. Let's go home and have some cake." Serena looked up at me in surprise, clearly not expecting my gentle response, just as I hadn't expected it either. I withdrew my hand, but Serena caught it. She held my wrist, pressing her palm against her face. She looked like a kitten, unbelievably obedient in my hand. "Just stay for one more second." At checkout, the cashier glanced at us and kindly handed over a sample of Durex, saying, "Here's a free sample for you." Serena's face immediately flushed red. "No need," I said firmly, but the cashier still put it in the plastic bag and handed it to Serena. "Have a nice day. On the way." Serena looked dazed. After asking her several times, she just replied with a distracted, "Ah." "You maybe go wash your face?" I scratched my head. "Ah, is there something dirty on my face?" "No, it's just your face looks like it's about to burst." Hearing this, Serena covered her face and ran off. In the afternoon, Hailey bought groceries and went home. She sat on the sofa, watching videos for a long time without anyone coming back. Bored, she decided to cook for herself. She hadn't used kitchen tools in a long time. Rocky used to cook and set the table for her. Just as the braised ribs were ready, the front door was opened. Hailey rushed to the door and, seeing it was Mary, went back to the kitchen to continue cooking scrambled eggs with tomatoes. "Didn't you go to that party today?" Mary asked, sounding reproachful. "It takes several hours to fly from Beijing, and besides, I'm already an award-winning actress. What else do I need? Why go to such an event?" Hailey said indifferently, playing some light music on her phone. "Just because you're famous now, you have to go. Do you know how many eyes are on you right now? If you don't go, it'll be seen as disrespectful and ignoring the industry, Mary said, grabbing Hailey's phone and turning off the music. This industry changes fast. If you're not proactive, there are plenty of people who can take your place. Do you understand this principle or not? You talk so easily. Who can just take my place? Hailey turned off the stove, speaking disdainfully. Hailey, stop deceiving yourself. You know it. Recently, Serena is making waves. 9 out of 10 trending topics are about her. Are you saying you're not worried? So what? It's my birthday today. Later, I have to have dinner and cake with Rocky. I can't possibly find time for that event. Hailey pouted and sat down in a chair. When Hailey said this, Mary was shocked. Then, anger replaced her surprise. Mary slammed her hand on the table and said, "You skipped the party for Rocky? Are you out of your mind? For just Rocky? He's gone and you're still thinking about him? Hailey, who do you think you are?" Hailey yawned, stretched, and started fiddling with her manicure. "Who says it's for Rocky? I'm just afraid that if he comes back and doesn't see me, he'll call me and nag like debt collectors. It's so annoying. Besides, what do you mean he's gone? Mary, you know that every year on my birthday, he's always here arranging everything for me. This year will be no exception. Just wait, he'll be back soon to cook for me. How am I supposed to respond to that?" Mary handed Hailey back her phone. "I can't be bothered with you. Handle it yourself." Mary left, slamming the door. Hailey continued cooking, and when she finished preparing a table full of dishes, she lay back on the sofa, staring blankly at her WeChat interface. Why hasn't Rocky come back yet? So slow. When he returns, I'll definitely give him a good scolding. Rocky hasn't even called me. He should have called to ask what kind of cake I want. Why is Rocky taking so long? Hailey waited and eventually fell into a deep sleep. Suddenly, the phone rang, waking her up. She answered happily, only to find it was not the person she was waiting for. "It's Patricia. What's up?" Hailey said. "Hailey, is Rocky with you for your birthday?" "He will definitely be with me. It's just that he got delayed on the way back." "What's the matter?" "Well, don't get mad, okay? What's going on?" "Stop stammering. Remember the party today? When I returned to the hotel, I saw Rocky with Serena, the one who's been trending recently." Hailey's face immediately darkened. "I see." "Hailey, don't." Before Patricia could finish, Hailey angrily hung up the phone. Upon returning home with Serena, my sister couldn't wait to go through the snacks I had bought for her. Suddenly, she pulled out a Durex sample pack from the shopping bag. My sister's eyes widened like copper bells as she looked at Serena. "Serena, you guys?" Serena, seeing the sample pack in my sister's hand, blushed intensely. "It's a misunderstanding." My sister smirked slyly. I get it. Then, she whispered something into Serena's ear. Serena listened, her face turning red, shaking her head continuously. After the whispered conversation, my sister called out to my mom, "Mom, can Serena stay with us tonight? I want Serena to keep me company." And so, Serena was arranged to stay. My sister has always been knowledgeable, and I knew what she was implying. But since I didn't have those kinds of thoughts about Serena, I couldn't lead her on. Thus, after my sister insisted on keeping Serena, I made up my mind not to sleep that night. But no matter how well I planned, I still missed a trick. My sister asked me to fix the light bulb in Serena's room. As soon as I finished, my sister let out a hee-hee laugh and locked the door. "Sis, don't be ridiculous. Open the door." I knocked on the door. "Bro, today you must talk openly with Serena. Whether it's good or bad, it's better than keeping it in," my sister advised earnestly from outside, her voice trailing off after a few seconds. In the end, Serena and I were left alone in the room, which wasn't very big to begin with. She had just taken a shower, dressed in thin clothing, with water droplets falling from her hair, trickling down her chest and into her clothes, looking alluring. "Did you plan this with Alice?" I asked her sitting on the bed. No. Serena shook her head hastily. "I had no idea Alice would pull a stunt like this. What were you two whispering about after dinner?" I countered. "Alice." Serena became more and more embarrassed as she spoke, until she finally covered her face with her hands. "She asked me if I've ever had the first experience." "First experience?" "Yeah." She even looked it up on her phone and gave me a crash course on how to be comfortable. She said I should watch more and also told you to learn from it. I stood up helplessly. "I don't have my phone on me. Can I borrow yours? I want to call my mom to let us out." Alice borrowed my phone just now, and I gave it to her. "That rascal, Alice." Serena noticed my discomfort and put on a jacket, saying, "Rocky, I'm sorry. I really didn't expect it to turn out this way. I'm actually just happy to be talking with you. You don't have to go this far. I never planned on explaining things to this this extent. Feeling troubled, I was interrupted by the light bulb malfunctioning again with a loud pop, plunging the room into darkness. Without sight, my hearing became more acute. I could clearly hear Serena's nervous breathing and heartbeat. The light bulb is out again. Yeah, Rocky, we. In the darkness, Serena stumbled towards me. I quickly stood up to help her, but lost my balance and fell onto the bed. Even though the room was pitch black, I could feel how awkward our position was. I shifted my knee, causing Serena to let out a small gasp, startling both of us. Sorry. You've said sorry 100 times today. It's fine, it's not your fault. I cautiously moved away, retreating to the edge of the bed. Let's chat for a bit. To find something to do during the long night, I suggested this. Okay, I used to see you on TV when I worked in Beijing. This year, you've really made a name for yourself. Yeah, just lucky. Alice said you're a great actress, even matching up to veteran actors. Even my mom, who doesn't watch dramas, praised you endlessly. You're truly deserving. No need to be so modest. Not that exaggerated, Serena smiled. I just get easily immersed and happen to have some advantages. That's still impressive. What are your plans for the future? Not much of a plan, really. Just a personal small goal. Oh, can I ask what it is? I want to become a best actress. Best actress? Yes. Surpassing Hailey is my biggest goal so far. I was surprised. I almost blurted out, "Is it for me?" But then reconsidered, thinking it might be too self-centered. I wisely kept quiet. Why aren't you speaking? Serena suddenly asked. Why do you want to surpass her? I was honestly scrambling for conversation. Why indeed? Serena asked back, pausing. Then she smiled, her voice soft and melodious. If I said it's for you, would you believe it? The next morning, when I woke up, the door was already open. Serena and I were each lying on one side, sleeping fairly soundly. We got up one after another. Alice ran to Serena, whispering and making Serena blush deeply. Alice lacked discretion. After Serena left, I had to give her a proper lecture. I slowly got up and went to the sink to brush my teeth and wash my face. Thinking about what Serena confessed to me last night, I felt a stirring inside. In the mirror, I saw Serena casually pinning up her hair. Her face was truly delicate, with a slender figure, and her curves were pronounced. It was that area that had brushed against my chest last night. Images of Serena's soft breaths from last night replayed in my mind. Although I couldn't see her, I could feel how hot her body was. Realizing her loss of composure, she quickly covered her mouth and instinctively tightened her legs. As I thought about this, my pants unavoidably started to bulge. Damn, it's a physiological response. Absolutely a physiological response. After freshening up, my mom called us for breakfast. Just as we finished eating, there was a knock at the door. "I'll go open it," Serena said, being closer to the door and turned the handle. To everyone's surprise, standing outside was Hailey. Her clothes were a bit disheveled. She smelled strongly of alcohol, and she was carrying a cake box. Both Hailey and Serena were shocked to see each other. Hailey loosened her grip, and the cake box fell to the ground, ruining the cake inside. In the next moment, without a word, Hailey slapped Serena hard across the face. Serena stumbled and fell to the ground. Her left cheek was bruised, with a trickle of blood at the corner of her mouth. But she stubbornly stood up, wiped her mouth, and gave Hailey a defiant smile. "You're still hitting people? I'm calling the police." Alice shouted at Hailey, pointing at her. "Mom, please take Alice into the living room and let her watch TV for a while," I said. My mom glanced at Hailey, sighed, and urged Alice back into the room, closing the door behind her. I handed Serena a damp towel to press against her face. Serena said, "Thank you." I walked over to Hailey and positioned myself between her and Serena. "What are you doing here? Is this all for her? You didn't come home yesterday to celebrate my birthday just for her?" Hailey advanced, grabbing my collar. "How far have you gone with her? Why does it concern you?" I pulled Hailey's hand away. "I warn you, don't speak to me like that. I don't owe you anything." "You!" Hailey clenched her fists. "You like these kinds of flaunting women, don't you? Is it better with her than with me? Or is she more passionate in bed?" Hailey sneered and continued. "Rocky, you're sleeping with my competitor out of spite, and now you're addicted to it. Aren't you pathetic?" "Hailey, watch your words." I pushed Hailey towards the door. "I told you before, we're over. We have nothing to do with each other. I don't need to do these disgusting things just to get back at you. Stop flattering yourself. Now, get out of my house. You're not welcome here." "Rocky, how dare you speak to me like that? No one dares to talk to me like this. How can you? How could you do this to me?" Hailey was seething with anger, but I saw confusion in her eyes. It turned out that the self-important, omnipotent Hailey could also be scared. But what was she afraid of? "Miss Hailey, don't take yourself too seriously," Serena said, approaching. "What does it have to do with you what I say to Rocky? Shut up if you're just going to be mouthy." Hailey snarled, slapping Serena again. Luckily, I caught Hailey's wrist in time to stop her. Hailey looked at me in disbelief. Rocky, are you going to turn against me for her? I wasn't doing it for Serena. I was doing it for myself. I couldn't let Hailey throw a tantrum in my house or think that my love for her was so deep that she could continue to act with impunity. Seeing Hailey's arrogant demeanor, I decided to retort. So what if I am? Are you going to slap me too? Or bring that man you had a hotel date with and humiliate me further? I don't understand why you're making a fuss over such a small thing now. Were you not completely compliant before? Why is it suddenly unacceptable? You slapped me in the face and embarrassed me. Can I yell at you a bit? What's the point of that? I'm your girlfriend. Aren't you supposed to be understanding and considerate? Didn't you promise me that, girlfriend? Huh, what kind of girlfriend is that? Are we really in a relationship like that? I don't want to argue with you. Hailey, you say you're my girlfriend, but let me correct that. You're my ex-girlfriend. We have no relationship anymore. Please leave. I shut the door with no sympathy. That's it. For someone so prideful, she wouldn't dare to come back after being rejected here. Leave and find freedom. At that moment, Hailey stood outside stunned. She never imagined that one day Rocky would speak harshly to her, even kick her out of his home. Rocky had loved her for 9 years, doing everything for her. She knew that. She had taken Rocky's admiration and meticulous care for granted. So she stubbornly believed that Rocky should continue to give, year after year, always by her side. She thought Rocky loved her so much, couldn't live without her, and that this departure was just a petty protest of jealousy. She thought that if Rocky would just apologize, or even if he didn't, but agreed to make up for her birthday, she would forgive him. But when she saw Serena answering the door and Rocky standing up for Serena, she panicked. She realized that Rocky was no longer solely hers. There was a new woman in his life. His attention was no longer on her, and he no longer expressed love to her. The panic from deep inside overwhelmed Hailey. She now saw that it wasn't Rocky who couldn't live without her, but rather she who couldn't live without Rocky. Hailey's phone beeped twice with an incoming call. Hailey, her expression vacant, glanced at the caller ID, Patricia. After a while, she slowly answered. Hello, Hailey, did you go to find Rocky? Hailey didn't respond. Her eyes were clouded with despair, staring aimlessly at the clouds drifting by. Hailey, are you okay? Hailey, I'm still in Guangzhou. Where are you? Should I come pick you up? Hailey, at least say something. What's going on? Light rain began to fall, soaking Hailey's hair. She stood there, lost in thought, and after a while asked, Patricia, what should I do to keep someone bound to me? Hailey had never considered having possessive thoughts about Rocky before. When they were together, she only valued his looks, his connections, and his devotion. As their cohabitation continued, she realized Rocky was indeed a perfect marriage partner, but she only saw it as suitable. Indeed, she couldn't find someone she liked, so finding someone suitable was also fine. She occasionally said nice things to please Rocky, such as wanting to marry him or stay with him forever. She wasn't sure she meant it, but thought Rocky had helped her a lot. Saying good things made him happy, which in turn benefited her, so why not? Later, after winning the Best Actress award, she stood at the pinnacle of her career. When she achieved this glory, she regretted the promises she made. The idea of marrying at the most glorious moment was nonsense. How could she possibly marry and have children at such an important time? But now she thought differently. She suddenly felt that as long as she could keep Rocky bound to her, even if she had to retreat and marry and have children right away, it would be fine. She even thought about having more children, making sure Rocky would always remember her and never be able to leave her. Hailey, who do you want to imprison? Don't be crazy, it's illegal. Tell me your location, I'll come get you, and we can talk about it at the hotel. Okay. Patricia was alarmed by Hailey. Imprison. Hailey repeated the words several times. Patricia, so it could be done this way. To reclaim Rocky and keep him by her side. Even if it meant imprisoning him, Hailey thought, so be it. Saturday, as the sun began to rise, I received a message from Patricia saying that Hailey, not being able to see me, went to her place to drink and cause a scene, asking for my help. I thought since the whole thing started with me, it should also end with me. I asked Patricia for the address and headed to her location. Following the navigation, I arrived at a private villa on the outskirts. Patricia, being a singer of moderate success, I didn't expect her to be so particular about her residence. Pushing the door open, there was no one in the quiet. Come to the room on the left, second floor. Patricia sent me a message. I followed the instructions and went upstairs. Pushing the door open, open. It wasn't Patricia I saw. Hailey, where's Patricia? I asked. She smiled lightly, locked the door behind her. Rocky, let's have a baby. Hailey smiled as she approached me. Have a baby and then get married, okay? Are you crazy? Isn't that what you've always wanted? I'm fulfilling your wish. So, have a child with you. Tie me to your side, be your dog for life, and you can go out and have a good time without any worries, making a fool of me, right? I countered. No, I promise I won't. There's always a second time once there's a first, let alone the countless times you've made a fool of me in these 9 years. That's different, Rocky, listen to me. Hailey kept shaking her head, her hand reaching into my clothes inappropriately. I was just playing with them. The one I love is still you. I stopped Hailey's hand, despising her. You're really generous, aren't you? Now I only love you, you also love me, okay? Hailey ignored my words, leaning over to kiss me. I pushed her away in anger. Hailey, do you think everyone is as casual as you are? I looked at her disappointedly. I would rather die than like you again. Rather die than like you again. Upon hearing this, Hailey became emotionally agitated. Why? Why? I've already apologized to you. I've humbled myself to beg you. What more do you want from me? It's not a matter of begging or not. Hailey, don't you understand? I don't need your love anymore. You're worthless to me now. Got it? No way. Hailey rushed up. Rocky, kiss me. I want you to kiss me. Get away. I coldly pushed her away. Rocky, you've already slept with Serena. Can't you even kiss me? Where is Serena better than me? Hailey was almost out of her mind. She didn't know what to do. No matter what she did, Rocky was completely repelled, filled with intense hatred towards her, while he was madly in love with Serena, who had even moved into his home. Was she really inferior to Serena in every way? She considered marriage and having a child as her last resort, hoping that by expressing her thoughts to Rocky, he might come back to her. But she was wrong. It seemed that Rocky really no longer liked her at all. Though Rocky was so close, she didn't even have the right to touch or be close to him. This was not the Rocky she knew. The old Rocky should have been eager to be with her. Now, Rocky seemed completely unfamiliar. The current Rocky was no longer the Rocky of the past. He no longer belonged to Hailey. It felt like she was truly losing Rocky. Serena is better than you in every way. You don't deserve to be compared with her, I said. And this has nothing to do with Serena. Hailey, maybe I wasn't clear before, leading you to fantasize about reconciling with me. So let me say it again, listen carefully. We are over. From now on, we have no relationship. Who you are with or flirt with has nothing to do with me. I won't concern myself with you. Conversely, who I like and who I am with is my own life, and you have no right to interfere. I hope we can part ways decently. So please don't appear in front of me again, don't harass me, and don't cause my family and friends any trouble. Otherwise, I will hire a lawyer and we'll see each other in court. No, that's not how it is. Hailey took a few steps back. You're just saying that out of anger, right? Rocky wouldn't talk to me like this. He loves me so much. How could he warn me so seriously? Hailey muttered to herself, then began to laugh hysterically. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. So what if you don't like me? So what if you're with Serena? I don't care. I just want you, just you by my side. Yes, you just need to stay here with me forever. Hailey was truly insane. I dialed Patricia's number. Rocky, don't be mad at me. Hailey is just too in love with you. If I don't help her, she'll really cause trouble for me. Rocky, can you maybe comfort Hailey? It's been like this for 9 years, right? Endure for a moment and things will calm down. Besides, Hailey has admitted her mistake. Go to hell. I couldn't help but curse at her. Hurry back to your villa. Hailey's gone mad. What? Mad? Literally. Hurry up or don't even think about staying in the circle. When Patricia arrived, Hailey was still in the villa, clamoring to have a child with me. Patricia sighed repeatedly. Hailey, why are you doing this? Rocky really doesn't like you anymore. There are so many men in the world. Why are you hanging yourself on this one tree? Hailey cried until her face was a mess. But I can't forget him. I just love him. What should I do? I can't live without him. Hailey, don't blame me for what I'm about to say. You say you love him and can't forget him, but why were you so problematic before? Hailey was at a loss for words. She wiped her tears randomly, trying to grab my sleeve. I really know I was wrong. Rocky, let's stop all this. I beg you, come back? Okay. I stepped back and pulled my sleeve away. No. Hailey, take care of yourself. After this farewell, Hailey never appeared again. Not long after, Hailey announced her retirement. The public went wild, and related keywords surged to the top of Weibo. Reporters rushed to interview Hailey, asking why she chose to retire at the peak of her career and what difference it made from ruining her future. Hailey just smiled faintly, looking dejected. I once had someone who truly cared for me, who loved me sincerely, supported me to this point. He was really important to me, but I lost him. Patricia called me, begging, "Rocky, please talk Hailey out of it. If she retires now, her whole life will be over. She has several endorsements and movies lined up. Just the penalty for breaking contracts will cost a lot. What will she do in the future?" Mary and Hailey have been arguing like crazy. Last time, Mary even slapped Hailey a few times, and Hailey didn't say a word, just like she was dead. "Rocky, you're the only one who can convince Hailey now. Please help her." "Patricia, this is her own decision, and I have no right to intervene. Moreover, I don't think there's any need for me to contact her anymore," I said. After Hailey's retirement, Serena became the new best actress, truly deserving. Her popularity and fame far surpassed Hailey's, and over time, Hailey was rarely mentioned. Hailey had vanished like a shooting star in the sky, disappearing into the crowd. I returned to my life, constantly shuttling between work and family. 3 years later in the summer, I took a vacation and went home. Alice, with her arm around mine, excitedly said, "Brother, guess who's here?" "Who?" "It's Serena." I looked in the direction Alice was pointing, and Serena appeared before me in a white dress. She still instinctively tucked a stray lock of hair behind her ear. "Rocky, long time no see." "Yeah, long time no see." It really had been a long time. Alice urged me to take a walk with Serena, so we went out as she suggested. After 3 years, Serena had changed but also remained the same. I had a lot to talk about with her, and being with her felt like a chance to let my guard down and rest properly. But when it came to speaking, I didn't know where to start. So I said, "How about we go to a nearby supermarket?" She nodded and smiled. "Sure." We walked side by side, silently, in perfect accord. We bought many things, including daily necessities and snacks, roughly similar to what we used to buy. At checkout, the cashier looked at us and skillfully placed a pack of condoms into the plastic bag. "Here's a free sample for you. Thank you for coming. Have a nice day." This time, Serena didn't blush with embarrassment, but instead exchanged a smile with me. On the way home, Serena boldly took my hand. "Rocky, haven't you considered settling down?" I politely withdrew my hand. "I'm not considering it at the moment." Serena lowered her head in disappointment. "But I won't take away your right to like me," I continued. "There are many people in this world, and I only know a few. If one day I consider settling down, I would be happy if the person is you. Of course, this is just my personal wish. I sincerely hope you find true love soon." Serena looked up, her eyes sparkling like stars. "I'm still young. I can wait." "Wait?" I seem to begin looking forward to such a long wait. I hope we can both get what we wish for. The end. If you like Kitten's story, please follow and like it. Updated every morning at 9 a.m.